Welcome to another astrology update for the week of July, the second week. Now, until the full moon, we have a number of aspects that are concerning our relationships, our self-esteem, our self-image issues, and issues regarding what makes us feel at home or at peace mentally in our life. Because at the time of this video, from the 13th of July until the 20th of July, we have an opposition between Pluto and Venus. Just as Venus entered the sign of Leo, we are having something of an impasse. You could say tension arises in your relationships, in a situation with a coworker, in a situation regarding your money or finances, where you feel like you are becoming much more critical than normal. It's a time of reevaluating what's important to you and what you want to let go of or what you want to hold on to, your boundaries, your misgivings, your concerns, your fears. All of these are going to be triggered during this transit. The second week of July, now going into the third week, is also featuring Algol. Because around July 15, we are having the Mars-Uranus conjunction on Algol. And around this time, just a few days before and then just a few days after, you will most likely experience some kind of difficulties, some kind of challenges around communication and your internet, your computer, your technology, anything that allows you to communicate with the outside is going to be affected negatively at this time. Because Uranus rules our technology. And Algol is about the freeze response. The freeze response means there's going to be a blockage there. It's going to be stuck. And Mars is going to irritate you or annoy you, which is why there can be accidents for some people. Other people can experience a situation where they're just tired. You might just be frustrated that you wanted something for a very long time, but you're just not getting that thing, and you're like, you know what? I'm done with it. I've been wanting to do this for such a long time that now I'm just going to go ahead, and I don't care about the consequences anymore. Now, this is a time of breakups for people. This is a time of fights, movement, changes that are very, very significant. And depending where Algol actually sits in your chart, what house it occupies, you will feel as if you're just done. You're finished with a situation and you want a new beginning. Because that whole conjunction that's going to last between July 11 and July 21st, it's just going to show you where you are being too rigid, where you're stifled, where you're holding yourself back unnecessarily, and the only way to move forward is to change things, because clearly you're not really happy with the situation. It's a situation that no matter what you do, you're just running in circles. Uranus is that shift, that evolution, that progress, that catapult that you need. But unfortunately, it's about meeting your shadow, meeting your greatest fear, the fear that is holding you back from getting what you want. And that is what we're all facing collectively when that Algol conjunction hits. So during this time of the third week of July, we have a very, very intense time. It's a very Plutonic theme. So there's going to be some transformation that has to happen if you've been doing something for months, if you've been holding on to that relationship, that situation, that job, that habit that really is not actually what you really want, but you kind of have to do it, right? You just have to force yourself, thinking that one day you're going to get the reward that you're looking for. But actually, Algol, when in conjunction with Mars, concerns our defenses, where we're trying to survive, and we're just trying to get by, looking for scraps, poverty consciousness, scarcity, just getting whatever you want by taking the scraps, like, at least I got something. It's not really what I wanted, but, the alternative is just too scary to face, too uncomfortable. So I will stay here, perhaps in a loop. And this loop is what's being addressed. If you've been thinking about a situation that you have been in for a long time and you want to change it, you're now going to get the trigger that is necessary to think about the change very, very strongly. Now, as the moon is in Libra, around July 12 till July 14, during the opposition between Venus and Pluto, which is exact at 2 degrees to 1 degrees Pluto, you will definitely think about your relationship. And maybe you're thinking, this is feeling a bit unstable. This is feeling like maybe it's not going to last. There could be fear of abandonment, of betrayal, or of some kind of change that you're just not willing to face, that is going to be triggered. And you may just try to avoid that situation, avoid that conflict, avoid that confrontation. But whatever it is that is happening in your relationships right now, it's only temporary, because as we're moving towards a full moon, this whole relationship issue is going to decrease and is going to move into another issue. And what that issue is, you will see on the full moon, when it's for the last time in Capricorn for the Cancer season, just before we move into Leo season. So during this time, we have Mercury and Venus both in Leo. And we have Neptune and Saturn still looking at your retrograde transits there. Because as these outer planets are in retrograde, we are essentially not really moving forward with whatever structure we've been having for the last 6 months to 8 months. That structure is now falling apart, and it's time for a new structure. So what is the structure moving forward going to be? Because it's going to affect heavily your belief systems about what's right, what's wrong, what are you supposed to do with your life. Morality issues are going to be very, very strong at this time. Why? Because if you combine that Taurus, that algol conjunction of Mars Uranus with these retrograde planets, because Saturn in Pisces is about the morality of, do we act on what we feel? Do we just let things be destroyed and not care about the consequences? Or do we let our mental health deteriorate just to be a bit more giving, to be a bit more tolerant? Our tolerance to certain situations that are negatively affecting our mental health are being tested at this time to such a degree that's asking you to make a moral choice. Maybe you have to hurt somebody's feelings. Maybe you have to address some kind of a delusion that either you or somebody else is having. Something where you had expectations, but those expectations are never going to be fulfilled. And Neptune shows you where we have been too idealistic in the past. And now it's kind of falling apart, and we see the reality of the situation. And that happened right when Neptune turned retrograde 2 weeks ago. Before that, it was at station. And when Neptune was at station, our idealism was at its highest. But it's been for a very long time. And if you remember, Pisces season in February of 2024 to May, you'll remember that there's been a lot of focus or emphasis on depression. There has been a collective depression happening actually while we were in the waiting stage just a few months ago. And you may experience a repetition of that waiting stage. You may feel Like, you get some of us I'm being in purgatory vibes again. But fear not, because you're not really in waiting stage. The waiting stage is over. We are now in retreat, in sanctuary mode. Because when we have Neptune and Saturn in retrograde, they're taking their one last little vacation in that sign together, probably for the rest of your life, because Neptune is going to take a very long time until it's in Pisces again. Yeah, because before it goes into Aries, we are just trying to regenerate our mental health as much as possible, because our mental health has been really not so good. Because if you look at the last 6 months, there has been such intense transit, so much shadow work, so much triggering, so much around our wounds when Chiron was having its eclipse in April, especially in our relationships, in our attachments, because the South Node has been in Libra for almost a year now. And you know, while the North Node is in Aries until February 2025, we are still going to face those relationship blockages. Unfortunately, there's still going to be karma around us, trying to balance our relationship, but seeing how our need for balance is kind of getting in the way of truly being authentic and asserting our will, getting what we really want, what we're really looking for. Because chances are, we're just dealing with a substitute at this time. A lot of people are dealing with a substitute, where they're thinking they have their twin flame, they have their ideal partner, but really it's just a replacement, just a placeholder. And that is why a lot of people are also going through divorces at this time, especially if you have the Sun or the Ascendant in Aries, while the North Node sits right now at around 10 degrees of Aries exactly. If you have your Sun between 0 and 10 degrees Aries, or the Ascendant, well, you'll face those relationship blockages for sure. Especially in regards to whatever contracts or agreements you have with other people. If you have court cases coming up at this time, court cases are also being finished. And I've had many people asking me about narcissism and about narcissistic abuse that we're facing at this time. Because the month of Algol, conjunction Uranus-Mars, is also a month where you're facing narcissism in other people quite a lot. Where you are realizing that person you were investing into is just having a little bit too much toxicity. And you don't want to deal with that toxicity, you want to get rid of it. You want to protect yourself. Because guess what? That's what Algol is about. It's about your protection against evil. Your protection against demons. The demons that are now all around you that you're now facing. What demon are you facing? What entity is kind of absorbing your energy, sucking on you, sucking on your stagnation, on your swamp, where you're so stuck, you feel so helpless, you feel like you can't do anything. You have no power. You can't move. Like, no matter where you go, problem there, it's like a double bind situation. This is also called the Kafka trap. Yeah, a lot of people are facing a personal Kafka trap in this month. If this doesn't apply to you, probably because you're not in a relationship, if you are with nobody at this time, then it's going to affect maybe your diet or your money. It's going to affect whatever Taurus is about. It's about our connection to the body, connection to the earth, how we're trying to rigidly hold on to trying to protect the body, to care for the body. But unfortunately, something is going to really, really trigger us at this time. Because the body, when it is in combination with Algol, is often showing tumors, blockages, inflammation, eczema, amputations, people getting some part of them removed. in one way or another. Whether it's minor or bigger, it's all about chopping, right? Algol is about beheading, they say. Beheading what? It's about cutting a habit, cutting a part of you, something that you heavily identify with, but you know what? It's just no longer serving you. It's not really you. So this happens while at the same time, Algol's favorite friend, Lilith, has entered Libra just recently. Now it's going through that whole sign of Libra while the South Node is in Libra. Well, you're really going to face those relationship issues. So a lot of people could even start a relationship at this time. And while Lilith is in Libra, she still sits in an opposition to Neptune. So Lilith is rejecting the ideal relationship. It's rejecting the ideal self. Wherever you are striving towards being a certain way, Lilith says, I'm not having it anymore. I'm not selling myself out to be that pedestal version of myself, to be a statue. Libra is about the statue. Because Libra is about mimicking a perfect appearance, a perfect look. And Lilith is just like, you know what? I think it's time to cut that shit out. Because now that I'm in Libra, I don't really like being what they want me to be. I think it's getting a bit too uncomfortable because there's no room for me. I'm kind of suffocating. I'm kind of blocked. I'm kind of stuck. I feel like I'm not really in charge of myself. In my relationship, in my career, in my situation where I have always given the other cheek. And that's no longer possible. We are basically done with that. Now with Lilith in Libra, we're no longer turning the other cheek. We're now saying, you know what? This is what I want. You don't like it? Okay, I will find what I want elsewhere. And Lilith in Libra deals with karmic issues. And this is coming up now as we are approaching the full moon in a karmic sign, Capricorn. And Saturn in retrograde, depositing all of that. It's going to be a bit different from the last full moon. Because, from a new moon that was in Capricorn. Now at the full moon is going to be in Capricorn. We're facing a bit of a release. Like, we've had some concerns, we've had some fears. And now we're realizing a lot of the fears that we had, they were only in our head. We were being controlled by another entity. Something from the control system. Patriarchal control system is all about trying to put you into a box, restricting your movement, making sure that you feel like you have no other choice, like you have to do this. It's like selling your soul to the devil. That's going to be addressed during this full moon, where you're now saying, you know what, I've been selling my body, I've just been giving myself away, and now I say, I don't care anymore. Just release. And the full moon is going to be around 28 degrees of Capricorn. And that's going to face, of course, the sun at 28 degrees of Cancer in opposition. Now, in that particular degree, the sun will be conjunction Procyon, the minor dog, Canis Minor. This is the small little dog brother of Sirius, because it is part of that same system. So this dog is about wild ambition. It's about the courage to start something, to ignite, to fire something up. Like that fiery energy that says, yeah, we're doing this. I know it's dangerous. I know it's probably going to have negative consequences, but I'm doing it anyways. Procyon is about doing things that are going to trigger a response. The response is likely going to be very negative. Now this is in opposition to the full moon. Now full moons, in particular, they're all about addressing a shadow, about releasing something that we've been suppressing. We didn't do that thing because we felt like the consequences are just too much to deal with. And the moon shows you, you know what? You can't really escape those consequences anyways. Might as well just go ahead and do it. That's going to happen here. Now, of course, look at the house that the full moon occupies for you personally to see how that's going to happen. So while all of this is happening, we still have that Jupiter in Gemini. And Jupiter is conjunction Aldebaran, the Archangel Michael star. Now I associate the star with narcissism, and I associate it with the buying or selling of things that don't really have a future, that don't really serve you anyways. So if you're thinking about doing something in the heat of a moment, you just like to do it for now, just keep in mind, whatever you start now until the full moon, it's very unlikely to last. Especially if you're traveling, if you're studying something, if you're learning something new. There could be a lot of enthusiasm with Jupiter Aldebaran in Gemini to learn something new, to talk about something unusual. Also in business, if you're thinking about a compulsive purchase, because Amazon and many other pages are actually having discounts at this time to try to cash in on that Algol conjunction, you may want to wait with your purchase until after the full moon. Why? Because likely whatever you're thinking about doing or buying is really out of compulsion. However, if you are a business owner or if you sell services yourself, this is a time to do discounts, do whatever the fuck everybody else is doing, and get those discounts out, because most people will be compelled to buy. And Aldebaran is about getting people on your side. Maybe meeting new people. If you are getting to know somebody new, you're likely going to lose them. Not before this conjunction. If you met somebody new like 2 weeks ago, don't worry about it. But right now, as Jupiter is on that Aldebaran, if you are making some kind of alliances with some people now, expect them to betray you later. Why? Because that's what Aldebaran is about. It's the Archangel Michael star. Archangel Michael is a demonic entity masquerading as an angel who recruits people to fight for his legion. Think about Burning Legion in World of Warcraft. It's a legion of demons that is recruited for a higher cause to purge or cleanse worlds. Aldebaran is about the fulfillment of a goal. Somebody comes to you to fulfill their goal, and when they worship you because you finally got them what they wanted, they're like, oh, you're what I always wanted, you're so great, and then before you know it, they betray you. And they take you off a pedestal because you're not fulfilling their expectations. Victim-savior complex is a huge thing with Aldebaran. You may feel like saving someone, or if you are a victim, you feel like you finally met your savior. Don't fall for it. It's a demonic, narcissist star, Aldebaran. You heard it here first. Believe it or not, the Nazis worship that star. You can look that up if you don't believe me. Aldebaran is about Nazis and narcissists. Don't fall for it. It's all about getting you into a situation where you feel so optimistic, you feel so good, but finally getting that person, getting into that cult, into that community, into that job, like, yes, this is what I always wanted. No, just, it's a complete shit show. Just waiting to happen. And it will. So look out for this one. Of course, this is just Jupiter, so it's not going to last very long. By the way, people will say, oh, but it's Jupiter, isn't it great? No, because Jupiter inflates. Jupiter makes bigger. What? A narcissist star. Okay, Aldebaran is about demonic entities. So what Archangel Michael, it's a demon. Okay, don't believe in New Age shit. If you didn't hear my opinions in other videos about all this New Age stuff before, it's all about demons masquerading as good people. Okay, as angels, as saviors, it's all the same shit that we've had in religion for a very long time. And a lot of people are gonna feel very, very tempted right now to give themselves away like, yes, I will just give myself to you and you will give me the happiness I always wanted. It's a trap. It's a temptation. You will be promised happiness, but it's not. It's just like a golden costume. Somebody is wearing a golden costume right now, and they're a little bit too comfortable in it. Now, in terms of love, romance, relationships, the energies are not really favorable, to be honest with you. But what's very interesting at this time about all of these planets, all of these conjunctions, you know, it's kind of getting on my nerves as astrology, I have to be honest with you. Because the last 6 months, I've been looking at transits, I've been looking at what's going on, and all the time it seems like something new is being cleaned up. Something new is being repaired. Something new is being removed from your life. Can we have a single month where that's not happening? Can we have 1 month where I'm not having to remove, cleanse, or detach from something? Can't we just have like a vacation or something? I don't know. Because these transits are just like, like I'm actually losing my temper. Sometimes. Not really. Not really. But it is pissing me off sometimes, these transits. Because when are we going to get over this? But we are getting over this, believe me. Because this is the last transit that I can see. Yeah, this Algol shit show. This full moon in Capricorn. After that, getting into Leo season. I don't know of any other transits that are negative at this time. And probably Leo season is going to be very, very different from what you're used to. Very different. At this time, as you're approaching the full moon for the 3rd week of July, things are going to get more and more and more and more intense. And you're wondering, should I stay? Should I go? Should I really do this? There could be some indecisiveness this month. Because whatever you do now, there's going to be a commitment that you have to make. And the commitment is going to be tested. And if you do commit to that thing, there's going to be consequences. You are at a crossroad. So make a choice. That's basically the 3rd week of July. Now, if you like this video, and if you found this little prediction helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. If you're interested in my personal readings, natal chart readings 101, check out my services in the description down below. Check out my services on my photo album page. And if you'd like to book a reading, message me through email or Facebook Messenger. I'm available for readings at any given time. And I'm still doing a discount until the full moon. My course is reduced by 44 euros. So it's at 400 euros if you want to buy it. And if you want to learn how to read these aspects for yourself. So you can make accurate predictions for yourself. And you can give readings to other people. And you can make some money as well. So if you're interested in that kind of business proposition, check out my services. And leave me a message. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. And see you in the next video.